Well, it's time. I believe I've thought of everything. That's what's wrong with projects like this. First time ever doing it. You really don't know if you thought of everything. But there's my funnel. Gives me a nice big area to pour into. And as you can see, it directs it down through this opening here and in between the inner and outer forms. And so I'm done with that side, then I'll just switch it over to the other side to fill up the other half. Now we take a quick trip inside. And over here, I've divided up the mix into two. I wasn't sure everything would fit into the mixer. There's the first half. 2 buckets of sand. That is the bucket of cement. There is the water. And in here I've got some fiberglass fibers. Over here is the second half minus the sand. In the sand I have outside in a bag. We'll just end up dumping that in. Water is also outside. So I'm going to take a few minutes to think about it, making sure I have thought of everything, and then we're going to start mixing. I'm as ready as I'm going to get. So now we're going to find out if it works. Definitely only going to be doing half at a time. The fiberglass. Normally we mix, or the instructions are to mix all the dry ingredients first, but the sand isn't dry. We're going to mix up the sand, the super plasticizer, and then dump in the cement. No! levels right out with just a little bit of shaking. So we're going to finish right there. So now, we need to get that into the form. What I'd consider doing is just using one of these buckets. So let's see how that works out. This is an old bucket and it cracked. I have to be careful. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's zoom in on it. Beautiful. The far side does not have enough inlet. Already have an inner gasket just sitting in here. I'm hoping not too much bleach through those gaskets. At this stage, what I want to do is fill up to here before I put in the side gaskets. I'm about an inch below on this side. Now I'm betting at this point these aren't going to fit, although they were pre-cut. There's a 1/4 inch gap there. I'm assuming this is going to be, that's close. That's alright, I have a plan for that. I have no idea if it's going to work, but I have a plan. Actually, thinking about it, if possible, duct tape would have worked for the sides all the way down. We're not going to gamble. There is my staple gun. Not too much vibrating here to avoid all the leaks at the bottom, just to settle it down. And I've got this to tamp it down. I can't vibrate the back side. That worked all right. We are at the top of the gaskets, and now we need to mix some more. I'm not certain all this is needed, but it's already measured. Any of you 20-somethings or 30-somethings that happen to see this, a 50-pound bag of sand is a lot heavier when you're almost 70 years old. Let's not even talk about the 90-pound sack of cement that I had to move around. Actually, we're gonna do this. When I do the lightweight concrete, the perlite goes out into the wind. So let's dump it all in. should be enough to control the dust. I'm guessing most of the cement. That was somewhat moist.
No!
Oh, that look at that, losing water. I'm going to add a little bit more water. Guessing I lost not that much water. Okay, we've seen enough of that. Let me see if I can get this camera positioned better for the next stage. That's about as good as it's going to get. Here we see our rebar chairs, spacers for the shelf that sits here. I'm going to fill it up to the top of this, place the rebar, and then keep going. I don't know if you can see all the bubbles coming up. The rebar is essentially connecting the middle of the shelf with the side walls to make sure it has enough support. Last piece of the puzzle. Make sure it's sitting right on those boards or the dowels down there. I need my to find my shims. The one I was looking for, but it'll do. If I don't clamp my glove into it, here we go. found the shim that I wanted. This will help. That'll work. This helps keep it square. There we go. Now it doesn't move so much. It was at this point where I felt something was wrong, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. I noticed the height of the inner form did not match the height of the outer form, and I assumed it was that way from the start. But it will be a few more minutes before I realized what happened. The snapshot shown here is what it is at this point in time. Now, as I bring in a snapshot of where it was when I started, you'll see there is a significant height difference. What I will shortly discover is that inner form is a boat floating on top of the concrete. This thing is floating. No! Oh my God. This is horrible. Totally unanticipated issue. How am I going to fix this? I put the inner form back in and clamped it front and back, but then still noticed it wanted to rise, so I clamped a small board across the top. Then I found there was so much force it actually started to lift and crack that board, so I put a larger board across the top. And then finally I thought of the best solution. Whatever it is, I'm done. I don't have a high confidence of what this is going to end up looking like. Because of that thing ended up floating. These sides are either going to be low or high because I can't get in there. Except maybe once it sets, I might be able to do some touch-up. Trying to get it to settle down underneath. I can't tell what's going on underneath. Alright, we're going to leave that alone for a little bit. See if anything moves. Well, as we can see, it's pretty dark out there. But I think I saved it. Of course, we're not going to know until I open the mold, and why it didn't occur to me to resolve the buoyancy problem, fill it up with sand. Once I filled it up with sand, I pulled these supporting brackets. It's about a ½ inch taller than it should be, as you can see, which could be a problem, but it seems to have finished out okay. Again, we're not going to know until I open the mold in about a week. So there it is, cast in place, and I really hope I don't have to do this all over again. But there we go. Be sure to subscribe to follow this project and hit that notification bell to be informed of future updates.